Dr. Goldstein.
Thank you. And thank you to all of you who've come out tonight to listen to those of us who have, we hope, interesting stories to tell you that will leave you hopeful but continued ready to do battle with us against this epidemic of disease. So let me just summarize in one sentence what my research group does. We use stem cells to develop disease in a dish, Alzheimer's disease in a dish in the lab, so that we can understand how each of our individual genetic variation makes us more or less susceptible to Alzheimer's disease, why that is, and then to take advantage of it to develop drugs. So let me break that one sentence into pieces that a normal person can understand. So when I say we use stem cells, the reason we do that is as follows. We know that even though Alzheimer's isn't a simple genetic disease, we know that if one of your parents had it, you have a much higher risk. And that's because each of our individual genetic variation makes us more or less susceptible. Now, if I wanted to study, for example, Mary Ball's brain cells in a dish, I could, for example, try to drill a hole in her brain and scoop out a little bit of the good stuff and see what's going on. But she's not going to let me do that. So how can I learn about how her DNA controls the behavior of her brain cells? Well, if I get a skin sample from her, similar to what Rusty Gage just told you about, we have tricks to make stem cells out of them and ferment everything, and then study how those brain cells behave or misbehave, and then tie their behavior to specific elements of the DNA that are variable from person to person. So we've been doing this for the past few years as part of the stem cell revolution in California. One of the things we've discovered recently is that some of the traffic inside of neurons is defective at the very earliest stages where brain cells, neurons, start to misbehave when they're developing Alzheimer's-like disease in a dish. Now you might ask, why do you care about traffic in a neuron? And the answer comes from a quote from Napoleon Bonaparte, which is that an army marches on its stomach. Now, what does that mean? Well, if you're a neuron, you're a really big cell, and you have to move things from where you make them to where you use them. And the connections between neurons, the synapses, which die during Alzheimer's disease, are very dependent upon production a long distance away. And that means that traffic and the proper movement of materials is critical for these cells to maintain healthy synapses. And what we've been discovering is that those traffic processes are defective very early, we think, in the misbehavior of brain cells. And now this lets us begin to develop drugs that rescue that misbehavior. And that's what we're hot on the trail of doing right now. And we hope that in the next few years we'll be able to begin clinical trials of some of these new agents. Thank you.